The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel for another daily breakdown. It is a wild Wednesday, and honestly, we are all still trying to catch our collective breath after what just happened on our screens. Grab a huge cup of coffee or maybe something stronger because we have a massive, chaotic mess to unpack today. And let's just dive right into the absolute madness that was the end of today's episode. So, Jack Abbott is lying there in a hospital bed, hooked up to a million machines, and it is just so hard to process. Jack was stabbed. Someone actually took a blade to Jack Abbott, the patriarch of the Abbott family, and left him bleeding out. And the hospital scenes were just incredibly intense and chaotic. The doctors rushing him in, the blood, the sheer panic of the situation. We all knew things were getting incredibly dark with the whole Diane kidnapping situation. But Jack getting stabbed, that escalates things to a level we haven't seen in a long time. And it's just so crazy because you never really expect a legacy character like Jack to be taken down like this in the middle of an already convoluted blackmail plot. But thankfully, and I mean thankfully, Jack survived the surgery. The doctors did their whole dramatic medical jargon thing and finally announced that he has made it through the worst of it and he is out of the woods for now. But he is completely unconscious. He is just lying there in that sterile hospital room, completely out cold and vulnerable. And you know how these shows work, right? When a character is unconscious, they are basically a sitting duck in a flimsy hospital gown. And the whole Abbott family is just an absolute mess right now. Kyle is probably losing his mind, pacing the waiting room floors. Tracy is definitely crying and praying for her brother, and Diane, well, Diane is still locked up in that padded room somewhere, which makes this entire tragedy 10 times worse because she doesn't even know her husband is fighting for his life. And of course, literally every single person in Genoa City is pointing their finger straight at Patty Williams. And honestly, can you blame them? I mean, can you really blame anyone for assuming Patty did this? Patty has a history that is longer than a CVS receipt when it comes to violence, obsession, and completely losing her grip on reality. We all remember what she did to Summer Newman years ago. We all remember the horrific yacht incident. And just a few episodes ago, she was literally blackmailing Jack for sex. She showed him that staged, terrifying photo of Diane in a padded cell and basically told him, sleep with me or else. So yeah, if Jack gets violently stabbed right in the middle of all this tension, Patty is obviously suspect number one, suspect number two, and suspect number three. But here is the thing about the Genoa City Police Department. They need proof. They can't just arrest Patty because she is crazy and obsessed and everyone hates her. They need actual, physical, undeniable evidence. A murder weapon, a fingerprint, a bloody piece of clothing, a witness, literally anything. But right now, they have absolutely nothing. The police are just scrambling around trying to piece together a crime scene, while Patty is probably walking around playing the victim, acting all innocent, batting her eyelashes, and pretending she is just so devastated that her beloved Jack was hurt. And it makes the fandom so mad because we all know she is more than capable of doing something exactly like this. She has the motive, she has the history, she has the sheer, unhinged energy to pull a knife on someone who rejects her. But wait, let's think about this for a second because maybe I'm being too harsh. Okay, that sounded ridiculous. Patty is a menace, but you get what I mean. Would Patty actually stab him? She wants Jack alive so she can sleep with him and recreate their magic, right? Stabbing him kind of ruins that entire delusional romantic plan she has cooked up in her head, unless he completely rejected her in a way that made her snap, which, let's be real, is totally a Patty thing to do. She snaps all the time. She goes from 0 to 100 in 3 seconds flat. But still, even with Patty being the most obvious and glaring suspect in the room, there is a giant, massive, glaring piece of this puzzle that everyone on the show is completely ignoring. Everyone. Where on earth is Dr. Lawrence Markham? Seriously, where is he? Why is no one looking for this guy? Why is nobody asking about the shady doctor? We know for an absolute fact that he is the one holding Diane hostage in that creepy house with the barred windows. We know Patty paid him a massive envelope of cash at the Park Cafe. Tracy literally saw them together. Tracy hid behind a pillar and saw Patty and this shady doctor plotting something evil and exchanging money. So why is the entire Abbott family and the entire police force hyper-focused on Patty and completely ignoring the fact that a corrupt, shady, probably fake doctor is running around loose in the city? It is one of those classic soap opera moments where you just want to scream at the characters through the screen to open their eyes and look at the bigger picture. And let's not forget the biggest theory circulating right now. The fans on social media have been screaming about this for weeks, and it makes so much sense. What if Dr. Markham is actually Martin Laurent? What if Patty, who we all know is a master of using plastic surgery to steal identities, since she literally turned herself into Dr. Emily Peterson, helped Martin get plastic surgery to look like Dr. Markham? If Markham is actually Martin Laurent, then this guy is a total certified psychopath. He held Sharon and Phyllis hostage in a clinic. He is incredibly dangerous and manipulative, and right now, nobody is paying any attention to him. Nobody is tracking his movements. Nobody is checking his credentials. He is just a ghost moving through Genoa City, while everyone is distracted by Patty's usual brand of crazy, which brings us to the absolute most terrifying scene we have had in months. The cliffhanger, the final moments of the episode that just left us all staring at the screen in pure shock. So the hospital room is dark, the lights are dimmed down low, the heart monitors are beeping steadily in the background. Jack is just lying there, completely unconscious, breathing through tubes, completely vulnerable and helpless. And then the door slowly opens, and it's Markham. It is freaking Markham. He sneaks into Jack's hospital room like an absolute predator. It was so creepy. He is wearing this dark hat, pulled down low over his eyes, looking like a classic old-school soap opera villain stepping out of the shadows. And he is holding a gun. A gun, not a medical scalpel, not a poison syringe, not a pillow to smother him with, a literal, actual gun. And he walks right up to Jack's bed with this disgusting, sinister look on his face. He just stands there, looming over Jack's unconscious body, holding this weapon. And he says something. He mutters something under his breath, right at the end. But the dramatic background music was swelling so loud, and the heart monitor was beeping so much that it was impossible to hear exactly what he said. Did you guys catch it? Because I rewound the episode like 3 or 4 times, and I still couldn't make out the exact words. It was definitely something sinister, something about finishing the job or making sure Jack doesn't wake up, but it was just so muffled and creepy, and then the screen just goes black. Boom. The credits roll. See you tomorrow. What were they thinking, ending it right there? The sheer panic of that moment is just unreal. Is Markham actually going to kill Jack? Is he going to pull the trigger right there in the intensive care unit? The tension is just off the charts. It is completely sickening to see Jack, who just survived a brutal stabbing and a massive surgery, now facing an armed assassin, while he is completely defenseless. But why would Markham want Jack dead? Let's really break this down, because the motives are everywhere. Think about it. If Patty paid Markham to hold Diane hostage, maybe Jack got too close to the truth before he was stabbed. Maybe Jack figured out where Diane was being held, or maybe Jack realized that Markham is actually Martin Laurent in disguise. If Jack knows the truth about Markham's identity or Diane's location, Markham has a huge motive to silence him permanently. Or maybe Patty ordered the hit. What if Patty realized Jack would never actually love her? So she told Markham, "If I can't have him, no one can." That sounds incredibly dramatic, but with Patty Williams, you genuinely never know how deep her delusions go. She might have paid Markham double to finish Jack off so she can play the grieving widow. But someone has to save Jack, right? They aren't going to just kill off Jack Abbott in a hospital bed while he's asleep. They just aren't. So who is going to walk through that hospital door and interrupt this nightmare? Is it going to be Kyle? Kyle has been desperately searching for answers and pacing the halls. Imagine Kyle walking into his dad's room and seeing this fake doctor holding a gun to his head. Or what if it's Tracy? Tracy is the one who saw Markham in the park with Patty. She knows his face. If Tracy walks in to check on her brother, she is going to recognize Markham instantly from the cafe, and that could trigger a massive confrontation. Or maybe Victor Newman will stroll in. Victor loves to assert his dominance, and even though they are rivals, Victor might just wander in to gloat and accidentally save Jack's life. And how does Diane fit into all of this chaos? She is still locked in that bizarre house with the barred windows, clutching that letter opener, surrounded by books written by Dr. Alan Laurent. If Markham is currently at the hospital trying to shoot Jack, who is watching Diane? Is she completely alone in that house right now? Is this her golden opportunity to finally break the lock, smash a window, and escape? Because if Diane manages to escape while Markham is busy trying to murder her husband, she is going to come crashing back into Genoa City like an absolute hurricane. She is going to want blood. She is going to want Patty's blood for orchestrating this, and she is going to want Markham's blood for locking her up and gaslighting her. I can't even process all of this right now. My brain is just firing in a million different directions. The writers are really pushing the envelope here and throwing everything at the wall. I mean, we have a brutal stabbing, a hostage situation with a fake psychiatrist, a potential plastic surgery identity theft plot, Patty Williams being her usual unhinged self, and now an armed assassin standing over a legacy character in the ICU. It's a lot. It is a whole lot to take in for a Wednesday afternoon. But honestly, I am hooked. I am so deeply invested in this mess right now. We absolutely have to tune in tomorrow to see if Markham actually pulls that trigger or if someone bursts through the door at the last possible second. Because if that gun goes off, the entire landscape of the show and the Abbott family is going to change forever. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who stabbed Jack and who is going to save him? Because I need some theories to get me through to the next episode.